So it's the last of August. It's our last tour event of the year. The Elite Series will be over. We're in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Beautiful La Crosse, Wisconsin.
There is no doubt this is an absolute fish factory. It is loaded with shallow water, largemouth, smallmouth.
I caught more fish in the first 3 hours of practice here than I've caught in South Dakota in 2 weeks of fishing out there.
As much as I enjoy the final tournament of the year, it's bittersweet. Guys' dreams are gonna come true and guys' dreams are gonna not come true.
I've had 4 really good tournaments, like that I finished 12th or better in, and then I've had 4 disasters. A complete disaster this week would keep me out of the Classic. I wanna do really well this week. I mean, I'd love to come out of this deal with a top 10 this week, honestly. That's my goal. Yeah, I'm thinking about the Classic, but I know 2 limits of fish weight in will get me in the Classic. I think I need 2 points. You can't have a bad tournament and have a chance at Angler of the Year. So the first tournament out of the gate, when I finished 52nd, I knew that forget about Angler of the Year, salvage the year. You know, I just wanted to get in potential to win a tournament. Like I said, I've had some good tournaments this year, but I've not necessarily been on the right fish to win. Hopefully this week is the week. I would love to finish the year on a high note. Like I said, everything was good before last week in South Dakota. I was 10th going into the points in the last one, and I couldn't win Angler of the Year regardless of how these last 2 events went, but I could made some money, you know? I think that's what bothers me the most. It's right here at the end of the year, and it's so expensive, you know? I mean, like, it cost me $10,000 to go to that last tournament, and, you know, I didn't get paid. I mean, that hurts. This ain't a poor man's game. The gas is so high, and it's the most expensive it's ever been. Our entry fees have been the same since 2006, but you know, the cost of living is just, everything is so expensive now. Pike, but it was fun. Got us some dinner anyway. I can't believe I hadn't already caught one of them. It's a pike, I think. If I had Todd Castle down with me right now, he'd be like, why ain't you already picked up that hybrid hunter? If he saw all this grass and I ain't throwing that hybrid hunter yet, I'm going to. Just bide my time. I'm looking more than anything. The whole deal for me is just to come out here and swing by the seat of my pants and figure it out. You know, that's the way I've always done it. And I've had some great practices and had bad tournaments, and had some so-so practices and won the tournament. So I put a lot into practice, but so many times I would catch like a little something in practice, and that area turned out to be, when I really slowed down and went to fishing, it was even better than I thought. Bites are not that bad, you know, not hard to come by, but those key fish, those 3-pounders, I mean, that's the deal. Realistically, you need 4 3-pounders a day, you know, or a big one. And big ones here, honestly, for me, are almost non-existent. Like, I've only caught, in all the times I've ever been here, a handful of 4+ pounders. Like, so really the key here is to win is to catch 3-pounders. There won't be like a lot of 4-pound+ fish caught. There'll be a couple, you know. I fell way down in the points after the last tournament, so I hate having that extra pressure on me this week. I like to go in the last tournament of the year and just, like, I'd love to be fishing free this week, if that makes sense. Like, not having to worry about the Classic. You know, last year at this time, I mean, the Classic was no concern. I just wanted to finish strong, you know, and this time I'm like, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I want to make the Classic, but yet I want to have a good tournament, but I don't want to do something unnecessary that would mess up my chances of making the Classic. So this week, the #1 goal is the Classic, catching enough over the first 2 days to make the Classic, and then we'll worry about the rest of the week after that. I hate it. I put myself in that position. It's all my fault, but I'm gonna kind of have to fish myself out of a bind the first 2 days. And see, here's the other thing. I always go to pool 7 and spend some time because I couldn't take a chance and get caught by the lock and not make it back one day during the tournament. I never went. And I don't like to fish that way. I feel like I fished conservative this week, you know, because of that. Like I couldn't gamble on a, you know, because this pool for some reason doesn't seem to be, it gets the most fishing pressure, and I don't know, something about it's off a little bit. And I never got to go check the other one because I was afraid. I was like, you can't, I gotta catch a limit both days and make sure I get them weighed in if I'm gonna have a chance to make the Classic. So I just wouldn't, and that's not what I like to do.
How you feeling this morning?
Like a champ. I guess that's a good thing. Just like my original plan, I'm going to the place where I think I'll have the best chance at catching a better one first and then just go from there. Hopefully catch a limit pretty quick. I really hope I don't have to flip today. I really hope out of these schools of fish I can catch, you know, what I need. I feel like I need 13 or better to stay in the hunt to win, you know. That's kind of the goal. Like I said, it's just been a lot tougher this time than normal as far as catching the bigger fish.
Come on in. Come on in, Kings of Bass friends. Come in here. Final event of the Bassmaster season. You know, we crown an Angler of the Year this week, crown a Rookie of the Year who's had a big season. I hate to say it, I don't really focus on the guys fighting for the Classic berth. To me, even though there's a bunch of races going on, I think I said this last year actually on Kings of Bass, there's still a tournament going on and it's gonna be a good one. We've had our fill of front-facing sonar events, and whenever you go to the Mississippi River, there's throwback. You know, guys are fishing. It's gonna be a cool tournament from talking to the guys we have on camera. This is so pathetic. Look in the rental. Look in the rental. Bag of baits, couple rods. You can tell where my focus is right now. There's something always very happy, you know, like last day of school, last week of school. There's also, it's a bittersweet time, like it's almost hunting season. Let's go get started. A lot of things to watch today. Looking at 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒 right there, the Rookie of the Year race. Not quite as tight as our Angler of the Year race, which still is pretty much wide open. You know, coming into this tournament, obviously all eyes, and we had a camera with him, on rookie 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒, and you also look at a guy like Hackney he's secure, he's in there, he's in the mix, but he still has to do a little bit of damage. You know, his job is not done at the Mississippi River. But with that also being said, it's one that is absolutely positively in his wheelhouse. Very laid back demeanor, very cool, calm, and collected. You see that with our current Rookie of the Year leader, 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒. Throughout all the seasons that you have covered the Bassmaster Elite Series, you kind of see that every now and then where you see somebody come along, a rookie, I mean, the kid is 23 years old, absolutely like a surgeon on and off the water when you talk to him. But if you watch his demeanor on the water, his fishing is absolutely surgical.
Caught lots of fish. I started off very, very slow. I was a little bit afraid of that with the weather change this morning. It just completely shut down my limit fish. I ended up having to waste a lot of the day trying to catch a limit. And then once I caught a limit, it's funny how that goes. Then I caught, you know, quite a few keepers, but they were all small. Nothing seemed to be easy today. So as far as making the Classic, yeah, it was a good day or whatever. But as far as doing well in the tournament, it was not good. So I'm disappointed, but like I know I've said this a lot, I find that more times than not in this sport, you leave disappointed. So I'm I'm not used to it, I don't like it, but I mean, it is what it is. I need to do better tomorrow. So when we have this interview, I will be chipper and laughing and poking fun at people and, you know, be my normal self. I'm still gonna blame everything on South Dakota. You knew it was coming. I don't know what happened over there. I don't know if somebody roofied me or what, but I've not been the same since South Dakota.
Amazing day one. What's strange about this tournament, you look at 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒 and what he's done here on day number one, and we talked about Rookie of the Year pretty much all day long. I guess my closing thoughts after day number one, don't look at Rookie of the Year right now with 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒. Kind of look at, he's got a possibility to win this thing. So We'll see what happens going into day 2.
Physically, I feel fine. Emotionally, I'm a wreck. I'm just disappointed in the last couple weeks. So I know what will make me in a better mood, but it'll be on how my performance is today. I'm gonna change it up a little bit today and do a little different, see if that works out. I mean, I don't have to catch a giant bag today. I just need to catch a decent one, you know. My bag needs to be, you know, realistically 2 pounds heavier than yesterday. I probably fished a hair conservative yesterday, but I was catching so many fish, I have a rule, it's just a personal rule, that you never leave fish to find fish. So if I go off and leave fish that are biting, because that's burnt me before, because you'll be like, well, the ones I'm catching, I'm only upgrading a little bit, you know, so I was only culling when I would cull just a little bit, you know, and I was like, if I run off someplace else and I don't catch anything, then I'm gonna be mad that I left these. I just know better than to do that. Today I'm gonna fish reverse, because yesterday morning wasn't good anyway. Instead of fishing for keepers in the morning, I might as well fish for big ones. I'm not gonna get many bites anyways. I figured then by 10 o'clock today, depending on how that's going, I could always run back to that area I fished in yesterday. It's not very far, maybe 7-8 minute boat ride from where I'm gonna start this morning to where I fished all day yesterday. And I'm like, if I need to come back and catch a limit, I'll do that. You know, I got till 4 o'clock today.
Day 2, I looked at the standings and Hackney's in, without a doubt. I mean, like, he needs to catch a bass because the guys that were behind him didn't catch him very well, that were close behind him. But I made a comment after day 1. I said, you know, do I think 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒 played it sorta safe on day 1 to lock up Rookie of the Year? I do, which I think he's a day away from doing. We were texting back and forth last night. You might see him drop the clutch a little more today possibly, but if he makes it to tomorrow, I think you'll see him actually go for a big bag. But I always say this, it's bittersweet near the end of the season, but I'm starting to, like, I'm ahead on Zona shows, right? Like, we got 10 out of 12 in the can. And my focus right now, even though we still have a lot of work to do this fall, my focus is starting to shift to just smallmouth and deer hunting right now. Like, I know I'm 3 days away from fully getting entrenched into that, so 3 days, but it's gonna be a good day. There's still so much to be done in this building the next 3 days, so let's ride. If you are watching here on FS1, whenever we come to the Mississippi River in La Crosse, Wisconsin, it is some of the best bass fishing in the country as far as numbers go. I work with the baddest ass people in the outdoor industry, whether it's the Kings of Bass crew, Zona crew, the Bassmaster crew. I'm so lucky what I do for a living. It's been just an unbelievable ride from day 1 to now. I tend to soak it in. I tend to think about it a lot more. I'm lucky. I love what I do.
I went to an area today that I didn't get many bites in practice, but it was where the biggest ones were. And so I said, you know, I was at least spend half the day in there and just see, you know, what I could catch. And then I caught some good ones too. And man, I think now some of the ones my big ones in practice were bigger than I thought they were. I called them 3-pounders and they must have been 4-pounders. So I look forward to going back in there tomorrow. There was one other guy came in there and just fished just a little bit and then he left. So I'm just excited about being able to go fishing again, because you do know that a week ago in South Dakota, it was not so good for me. So I'm glad to rebound, and I was really kind of distraught yesterday over having a very mediocre day, you know, here. It's just good to get over that. Oh, and on the side note, that bag of fish disqualified me for my 17th Bassmaster Classic.
Yeah, so just finished up day number 2 La Crosse, and we got this bad boy right here. This was my #1 goal for this year, was to win Rookie of the Year, and yeah, to do it in 9 tournaments and to not have, you know, too many slip-ups on bodies of water that, you know, I've never been to and things like that. is pretty special, just because it means that I can compete against these guys on places I've never been to. So yeah, just grateful for it and ready to finish up the season.
I feel like I'm better than what I showed this year, and that hurt, you know, kind of stings a little bit. So I'm like, you know what, if there's something that I can do to make myself better for next year, because here's the deal, I'm gonna be real realistic about this. I don't know how many years I got left, but I'm gonna make the last few, I'm gonna make sure they remember who I am. I hate to say this, but I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I've enjoyed it. I've been doing it for 20 years, and I don't know what my 25, I don't know. But I know that it's getting to a point where, you know, I'll be honest with you about this. There's an opportunity that I might be able to work with my son and do some stuff. And I look forward to doing that because I got to work with my daddy growing up. At the time, it didn't seem like a big deal to me. But now I'm like, man, what some awesome times. So I have enjoyed this. And I still, like I said, I still got some stuff to do before I roll out of this. But I could see me in the next 5 years thinking about, you know, doing something else. I mean, it'll be hunting or fishing. I mean, because I don't do anything else.
From Gonzales, Louisiana, the Hack Attack, Greg Hackney.
Awkwardly getting out of the car. Third day in a row. It's been awesome. It's been an awesome tournament. It's been an awesome year. This is the third quarter of this Elite Series tournament. 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒 wrapped up Rookie of the Year. I still think he's in the tournament. I think he's in the teens somewhere. Still has a shot to win. Hackney looks like he's solidified the Classic for sure with a big stringer yesterday. But to me now the story in this, and look, I'm gonna try to remain unbiased. I struggle with that with this person, but to me the biggest story coming into day 3 is 𝐏𝐃𝐓𝐒. We're gonna celebrate 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒 and Greg Hackney and the rest of the anglers. Polinick's still fighting for Angler of the Year. He had a grimy day 2, but 𝐏𝐃𝐓𝐒 is who I'm watching today. And the great thing about this tournament on the Mississippi River, if you joined us yesterday here on FS1, they are catching them in a big way, especially the first 90 minutes of competition every day of this tournament has been absolutely out of control. For this 2022 season, and the years past, the legends past, I have been able to call hundreds upon hundreds of tournaments sitting next to Tommy Sanders, who's the best. And somewhere in there to sit with the best in the outdoor industry and cover greatness. To cover greatness has been an honor. And I don't use that word lightly. I've been able to call events and cover the best, whether it's this year or 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I've covered the best in the game.
I looked at the deal. I couldn't move up. I couldn't move out of the $10,000 bracket today, regardless of how I did. But I'm like, that'd be pretty cool to win, you know, get 10 grand for this tournament and then another 10 for Angler of the Year money. I mean, it's nice that we're fixed to be off for 6 months to, you know, to make $20,000. I'm not concerned about taxes. Like I've had enough write-offs this year. I'm not accepting my failures, but I don't let them ruin my life like I have in the past. I have let, like, you know, not so good performances at tournaments like really make me disgruntled for days. I'll tell you, maybe it's what I learned from the Bass Pro Tour, to be honest with you, that like when I left the Bass Pro Tour and came back over here to Bassmaster, I was just like, in a way I was relieved. I can't really explain that, but I'm still mad about last week's performance or whatever, but not to the point where I don't let that stuff bother me anymore. You know, I just kind of take it, you know, roll with the punches, you know. Deep down inside me, I feel like I got one more run left, like old school me, which is pretty chalky. So I'm just hoping it's next year. You know, I don't want to wait any longer. I've been back for 2 years. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to get back where you fish unconsciously. And I kind of feel like now I'm kind of thinking about it too much, you know, just let it happen. So anyway, stay tuned. Till next year.
Wow, what can you say? It looks like Brandon Polinick pretty much put it away. 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒 still hanging in the mix. What's cool about it is this is one of those tournaments that you cannot, no matter what, you can sit here and all of us tried to do it. Ronnie and Such and Tommy was trying to predict a winner for the final day of the season. The best way to end it is to not know what the ending's gonna be. So the last day of school, it's gonna be pretty awesome because it's been an awesome event. We're going to Mr. Pat's Lake to just take a little rest. I got Flavor James in town and gonna try to put him on a, just put him on a big fish. He's put me on a few big deer in his lifetime. I'm gonna put him on a big fish today. Let's go. G up, all right, go ahead, in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bassmaster Elite Series. My name is James Detweiler.
Nailed it, bud. That's an earpiece, it actually wasn't a mic. All right. Whenever I'm down in Little Rock or within 8 hours of Arkansas, I always stop by Mr. P's. I took cameraman Brandon there last year, and here's the one thing that Mr. P's does. It blows your mind. It is one of the best little hidey, like I grew up looking for little sneaky ponds, little farmers ponds, golf course ponds. Mr. P's is like all of those on steroids. Coming down here, my buddy who I hunt with up in Michigan, Flavor James, and Bowman, who I work with at Bassmaster, we had to go out and just get 3 hours. You only need 30 minutes for it to blow your mind, but really 3 hours on Mr. P's. It's life-changing. It helps cleanse the soul. This is all I needed today. This is all I needed. This is Mr. Pat's, otherwise known AKA as heaven. That's what this place is. This is the best. If you're gonna play hooky, this is the place to do it. So it's pretty much the end of day 3, a little R&R with my man Flavor James, and the way everything ended was phenomenal in the tournament. Polinick wins Angler of the Year. 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒 did not end up making the final 10 for Championship Monday, but really the last thing to figure out in this tournament is my buddy Chris Johnston's leading, but my hunting partner and partner in crime on the water, 𝐏𝐃𝐔𝐂𝐓𝐒, tomorrow's a big day. In all honesty, it was a phenomenal way to end the season, like everything came together correctly, if that makes any sense. So looking forward to next season, but so many things to do before then, like catch one. We gone. We're done. We're done. James, 2 words. Tell me we're done.
Get her done.
I love you, bro. Yeah, he's my best friend on earth, man. It's my hunting partner, my fishing partner. He just needed a little taste of dirty Arkansas.